Thank you so much, guys, for joining. My name is Ayomide Ibrahim, and I am so privileged to be here today at the empowerment workshop of the resilient immigrant. I believe by now we all know what resilient immigrant is all about. But if you are yet to connect with this great organization, on all of the platforms that I know, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, then you are missing out. But in order not to miss too much, let me tell you a bit that I know about the resilient immigrant. It is an organization that is so committed to empowering you and I as immigrants and also celebrating our diversity, where we are coming from, how we look, how we speak differently. And part of what they do to empower you and I is to do what we are here to experience today, which is empowering you as an entrepreneur. Um, we know that when we leave our different countries to come to a country like the United States, we come with dreams, we come with hopes, we come with even fears. But with an organization like the Resilient Immigrant, help is available. Help to help you scale beyond your fears and hold on to the mount of hopes. Today, I will be sharing starting your business, identifying and growing your entrepreneurial skill. I'm able to do this today because it's what I'm going through. I'm going through my entrepreneurial journey. We started our business 3 years ago, and as of today, we have well over 3,000 clients. So, for the number of years that we've been in business and the number of services and the number of clients that we have, I believe that we can share, our milestone with you, and possibly that can, help you to see what you're doing, how you are doing, what more you need to do. Because no matter what, there is always a room for improvement. Starting your business. Why are you in the United States? Did you come for study? Did you come to start a business? Why are you here? If your own why is to start a business, then you need to listen to this and probably, just grab your pen and see what you can take away from our presentation today. Uh, Once again, my name is Ayomide Ibrahim, and I'm the CEO of FinServe Pro. FinServe Pro is a financial services company, and like Resilient Immigrant, we are promoting inclusion in our own. What we are promoting is financial inclusion. We try to see how an immigrant can come to this part of the world, the United States, and catch up financially with an average immigrant, with an average American citizen. And I hope that this webinar, would be of help to you. Starting your business, identifying and growing your entrepreneurial skill. Um, Yeah. Now, thank you for joining. I believe everyone who is here is a dreamer. And as I said earlier, it is an honor, an absolute one, to be here with you today. As an African immigrant who has successfully built a career in America, I'm an accountant. I call myself a financial expert, a financial advisor. I'm also a broker. And yes, we help both individuals and businesses with their tax preparation. And as an immigrant, who came into this country 8 years ago, I know firsthand the journey, the struggles and the triumphs that come with, entrepreneurship in a new country. It is always tough, when you leave your country and then, you come to a new country like the United States, and then what you think of is, oh, I want to start a business. There are nuances to it. There are so many things you have to learn, and we are going to be saying that, as we go down this presentation. Now, our discussion today is more about starting a business, right? How do you build a legacy? What opportunities do you want to create? How do you unlock, your full potential? What brought you, to, this land of possibilities and opportunities? I say this a lot of times, that America is too big for anybody to fail. America is too big for anybody to fail. And if you don't believe me, I want you to do something. Get a ticket. If you live on the West Coast, get a ticket and just go to the East Coast. If you live, say, for example, in New York, get a ticket and fly to California, fly to Arizona, and on your way while you are airborne, do me a favor, don't sleep. Rather, be like a spy, have your phone, and you can achieve more by making sure you sit by the window, right? Just make sure you sit by the window so you can look at how big this country is. I told one of our clients who we help currently in building his business that if you are asking yourself, where are the clients I want to serve, get on a plane and look at the number of households we have in the United States for you to know that your clients are out there. Aside from that, this is a country where we have childbirth every day. Some researchers about 30, 40, 50 years ago, they studied those we call the baby boomers. These guys that, went to war, came back, there was no war again, and now it's time to start making babies. And several industries have served this generation we call the baby boomers. In the next 20, 30 years, most of them are going to be retiring. We have industry currently thinking, how do we help them during their retirement? So, if you are about to start your business and you are here in the United States, I'm telling you that you are in one of the best, if not the best country to be in terms of possibilities and opportunities. The road to entrepreneurship is not easy, especially for immigrants. We have accent. Now, coming to accent, I want to also tell you that don't let your accent stop you in whatever you choose to do. See your accent as a plus and not a minus. I'm going to share a story about that later in this presentation. I hope I remember. Now, navigating new systems, overcoming cultural and financial barriers. I came to this country with $200 in my pocket, even though I had some naira in my naira account, but I only came with $200, right? Financial barriers. Establishing a strong business presence can be very overwhelming. This is absolutely so true. Absolutely so true. However, with the right mindset, the skills, the resources, success is not just possible, it is inevitable. Your mindset has a lot of roles to play. I want you to shift from, you know, why you see things to how you see it. A lot of the times, what makes the difference in is how, you know, you see the same thing. 4 5 years ago, I would find myself um, in DC, especially weekend, and I would see young young individuals, in their early teens, to like their 30s. Young individuals in DC partying, drinking. And there was a way I saw, these people then. I don't want to say it here, but there's a way I see them now as a business owner. Now I see them as a client and not how I used to see them, just wasting their time, away. Right. So mindset. Uh, Another thing about mindset is you have the tendency of having your breakthrough at your lowest moment. So if you have the right mindset, you would not give up at that lowest moment. Rather, that is when you would buckle up, because in most cases, that is when you have your breakthrough moment. We had our breakthrough moment with FinServ Pro during COVID, when the whole world shut down. That's when we had our breakthrough moment, and we have been building, on that. Now let's explore how you can identify and grow your entrepreneurial skill, so you can start to scale your business with confidence. First, uh, I love this, the immigrant entrepreneurial spirit. Um, I have seen over the years that it is easier to succeed in a location that you are not too familiar with than the one that you are too familiar with. Many of us, those places we were born, opportunities, pass by, but because we are too familiar with them, we don't see the potential they carry until we move to an unfamiliar grounds, unfamiliar location. That is when we're able to see that, oh, there's a problem here. I'll give you a very good example. I did not know that I'm a black man until I moved to the United States. I just feel, oh, I'm a Nigerian. I never thought that, oh, there is white, there is black, there is attribute to, no, 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 no. So the same thing goes for opportunities. Many of us, we don't see these opportunities because we are just too familiar with them. Immigrants have been long, at the forefront of innovations. If you look at innovations in this country, um, immigrants have done a lot. I was at the USPTO, that is the US Patent uh, and Trademark Office. I'm not sure if that's the full meaning, but USPTO, the US Patent and Trademark Office. And I there's a wall that has been dedicated, to innovations and who the innovators are. In fact, the day I went to the USPTO office, I was privileged to meet the man who invented Bluetooth. This man is from the Netherlands. He's from the Netherlands. So the very day I went was a day they actually invited him to come and speak to young innovators. I was not on the list, but I walked up to the organizers and said, I'm here today, and since this man is here, for me is beyond coincidence. Can you guys just allow me into the room? That is the immigrant spirit, where we believe we can get anything done, right? And fortunately, I was allowed into the room, and I was able to meet with the man, ask him questions, took pictures with him. But to let you know, that man is from the Netherlands, is not from here in the United States. Meaning, this is a country that is built together, especially with our input, as immigrants. Studies have shown, that immigrants are 80% more likely to start businesses than native born Americans, contributing billions of dollars to the economy and generating employment, for thousands. Now, this is no coincidence. As immigrant, we possess resilience, is why this organization kind of just stood out for me, and I did not bat an eyelid when I got, the invite to be here today. That no, this is a great, a great name. And later I found out that, this is a great organization. And yes, to the founder, I'm saying thank you for what you guys are doing, especially, how you crafted out your logo, which shows that you are lifting up someone. And if you are here listening to this, I want you to know that there's no way you can rise if you don't lift others up. There's no way. There are no two ways to it. You have to continue to rise others because trust me, your success is inherent in that. Back to our presentation, our resilience, our adaptability, we are quick to adapt. Our unique perspective on market needs. It took me just 2 years to know that someday I'm going to have a financial services company. I don't know what the name was going to be, but I knew that because I saw the problem that immigrants are having, when it comes to access to great financial services. Those who are offering quality services, they are way overpriced, that immigrants will just go for anything, at least just to get by, and then they get into trouble. So what we did is, we would strive to provide the same quality service at a discounted. And that's why we are not surprised that in just 3 years, we've been able to have more than 3,000 clients, and provided thousands of opportunities. Now, these qualities, they define a successful entrepreneur. So before you embark on this journey, I want you to ask yourself that honest question. Am I resilient? Do I have that resilient spirit of seeing and going through hardship and saying, you know what? It is either this way or no way. You must be resilient to a point that you tell yourself you have just one option, and that if you fail here, there is no other way. Now, if if that is what you have done and you reach your breaking point, please take some time off, because it is that soldier, as we say in my language, it is the soldier that runs away from a war that he or she knows that, what, if I just continue, I'm going to perish, that lives to fight another day, right? So if you just ask yourself, how resilient am I? Am I able to adapt into situations that requires for me to change? What unique packs do you have this visionary perspective to looking at what is going on around you and say, what, there is a solution that is needed here. I tell I say this in most of my presentations, that the number of people we have in the whole world is the number of problems that we have. What do I mean to say by that? As I am my unique self, I have my unique problem. So if anyone is standing by and studying me, that, oh, Ayo is this unique, he has this unique great traits, but then he has these unique problems too. Let me help him solve those unique problems so it can do so greatly in what is able to do. That is providing solution. And the good thing about providing solution is you would never have to worry about money. Many of us will worry first about money before thinking about the solutions we can provide. That is what the problem is most times. You must understand that wealth is embedded in the weight of solution or solutions you can provide. So, are you a visionary? These are questions you need to ask yourself. But let's be real. Starting a business in a foreign country comes with unique challenges too. Uh, you have your resilience, you have your adaptability, you have your visionary skill. Put those in one bag, right? Those are your assets. As an accountant, we talk about asset and liabilities. Those are your assets. Now, let's now talk about things that can come as liabilities, right? Things you have to contend with. One is the navigating the legal and the regulatory requirements of the new country that you find yourself. Um, Legal and regulatory requirement here in the US is different from where we are coming from. Anywhere, Nigeria, South Africa, Libya, Liberia, Ghana is different. I'll give you a very good example. Where we come from, we apply IFRS, the International Financial Reporting Standards, to transactions for businesses. Meaning, if you buy an asset, if you buy if you buy any item, for example, how gap, which is what we use here, the general acceptable um, um, practice, pardon me, it's called gap. Gap is the equivalence of IFRS in Nigeria. Right? How gap is going to treat an item might be different from how IFRS is going to treat it. For example, we have what we call the LIRS where we come from. We have what we call the FIRS where we come from. They are called the IRS here in the United States. Now, the way they treat items, the way they treat taxes here in the United States is different from where we are coming from. For example, in Nigeria. In Nigeria, for example, in my over 15 years, as an accountant in Nigeria, I never experienced where an individual would take his or her wage statement, for example, and say, I want to go and file my individual taxes. I've never seen that. Do we have it? Yes, we have it in our tax code in Nigeria, but we don't do it, right? And that has to do with regulatory requirement. The regulatory requirement where we come from is weak, is why an individual would not file his taxes for years and nobody is holding them accountable. Nobody is sending them a notice that you have not filed your taxes. Nobody is saying you are owing the LIRS or the FIRS this amount. Regulatory requirement is different from where we are here. If you don't file your taxes in the United States and you've had your W-2, your 1099 forwarded to the IRS by either your employer or those who engaged you, in 1 year, you will get a letter, right? Regulatory requirement, legal requirement. Here in the United States, you have you must possess certain credentials in terms of certification. You must possess, let's say, for example, a social security or a work authorization before you can even work, right? In Nigeria, where I come from, I will cite Nigeria most of the time because that is where I come from. If you are from other country, you can apply this to your country. In Nigeria, where we come, once you get your birth certificate, that is it. We don't have a social security number, for example. That is, some of the requirements that you need here. Now, building a business credit, securing funding. In Nigeria, we don't have, the credit card facility, for example, where you get a credit card and then you make sure that you utilize your credit, card very well, so you don't have adverse report on your credit report. We don't have that back home. Here we do, because here there is a system that banks can rely on to know if you are credit worthy. You get your credit card and then you spend, you pay back, and over time you ramp up a credit report. Your credit report sometimes would even show where you moved from. You lived here from so year to you moved here, and then your income jumped from here to here. At the time you refused to pay some money that you were owing to. So your credit card will show all of that. We don't have that back home. You must also understand, understanding the new market and the customer behavior here is also challenging. In Nigeria, sometimes we get away with so many things. Here, you can't. We have the Google review, customer behavior. If you behave or you act anyhow and you have your business listed on Google, people will go there and talk about your services, how good or how poor you are, customer behavior. How many of us have this customer or Google review back home? If we are having it, maybe something, maybe just recently. But here, you will. I was with someone about 2, 3 on Thursday, and it was just bragging about yeah, and we're going to have some kind of engagement with them. I just told my team, this is what I'm hearing from the founder of this organization. Can you please do your background check? One of the first places they went to was their Google, and they're like, Mr. Ibrahim, we cannot have anything to do with this organization. Just go here and see those who have done the same, those who have partnered with them in the same way that we want to partner. This is what, and by the time I saw about 6, 7, I'm just like, you know what, we can't do that. Customer behavior is entirely different. Customer behavior here, you can be sued if you provide a service in a way that your customer lost revenue or they incurred damages. They will sue you for damages. Customer behavior. You must also understand the new market, right? Like I said earlier, this country is way too big for anybody to fail. We are having the Gen Alpha now. You can take out your time and start studying this generation we call the Gen Alpha, right? And start having data, start having your resource, your comment about them, if that is what you love to do. And someday you'll be shocked that a big organization will step forward to buy such data from you. Somebody did that years ago with the baby boomers. You can start that now with the Gen Z, with the Gen Alpha, right? So that when we have companies that wants to uh, provide services for these generations, you will be their first point of contact. Talk about it. Let everybody know that this is what you are doing, right? Customer new market. Overcoming cultural and language barrier. Yeah, the culture here is different. This is a country where you go out with your friends to go and eat, and everybody will bring out their cards. The first day I experienced that, I'm like, what is happening here? I invited some of my friends, for my birthday, just a little get together. I already made payments, and someone said, no, Ayo, you don't do that here. Even though it's your birthday, we everybody have to pay. You don't have to. break your back, you know, because you want us to come and wish you. We should even come with gift and cultural differences. Cultural differences, a whole lot. I'm not a married counselor. We have those going on the married side. Cultural barriers. I say that to let you know that yes, you can import your culture, right? But then you have to tweak it around the culture of this country so you don't land in hot water. You don't want the language barriers. Yeah. So I would say, the story I mentioned earlier about language barriers. We have language barriers. It is there. And I've experienced two, which I'm going to share just a very short story. I was in an interview, and the lady who was going to hire me, just asked my recruiter, because I went through a recruiter, and the lady was like, "Hey, Mr. Recruiter, I'm hearing accent from this man. So please, is he from Nigeria?" And my recruiter said, "Yeah, he's from Nigeria." And she said right there, "This interview is over. Send this guy to my office tomorrow." I did an interview in less than 5 minutes because of my accent. I went to her office the next morning and she told me, "I'm hiring you because you are in Nigeria. I've worked with two Nigerians before, and those guys are just so great. And I want to believe it's a team with you guys. So start this job." And in 2 weeks, he said, "You have also proven me right. And for this, every Nigerians I have the opportunity to work with, I would always work with them." Now, in the same organization, this lady was going to leave as a director, and she pitched me to be the next, director. The experience is there. I know the job, but then the board came back and said, "We are very sorry. We won't be able to promote you, to uh, be the director because you have accent, and the board is we are all white. It's all white board, and we don't want to have challenges with you presenting, because at the board, at the director level, what you are doing is presenting financials to the board members. So it's to tell you that, yeah, the barrier is there, but at the same time, we have those who will still love and respect you for your accent. But most importantly, when it comes to language, it is a thing of the mind. And that's why I want to beg you again, when you are being led to go somewhere, I'm a Christian, and that's why I'm going to infer the Bible. When you are being led to go somewhere or to do something, never tell yourself, "Oh, how would I do this as an immigrant? How do I say this with my accent as an immigrant?" Moses said that in the Bible, and God said, "Yeah, you still have to go. I know you stutter, but I am the one sending you, and I will be your voice." So I want to plead with everyone that will be listening to this. Don't you at any time give the excuse that you are an immigrant when you are led to do something. Now, let's go to the good news of to why we are here. Now, these challenges are not roadblocks; they are stepping stones, to achieve success when you approach them, strategically. I did that with the job. I was told that I can't become, the next director. I just stayed for a couple of more years to rack up more experiences. And by the time I moved to my next, company, they were not they. I mean, they were looking for, the next role that I could not get at this organization. So they saw my resume before they even invited me, and that was it. So you have to be so strategic in mapping out and making sure that you avoid and get past some of these barriers. If you have to take language classes, please do. If you need to pay so much attention to the diverse culture that we have in this country, please do. The customer behavior, you have to always tell yourself this is a country where you can never get away. If you treat your client or your customer wrong, they will call you out at no cost to them. I've seen people go to jail in this country for acting unethically. You don't want to be a victim of that. Now, for your business credit and securing funding, there is also a strategy. There's a way you can strategize your finances, right? In a way that when anybody wants to loan you, when they look at your credit report, they would know that this person is credit worthy. And if you need help, with that, you can always reach out, to us at FinSap Pro. Now, let's identify some of the entrepreneur potential. Step one, you must have a competitive edge, right? What we do at FinServe Pro is to look at the gap. What is the gap in terms of the services that people are getting and what they should be getting, right? And we try to bridge that gap, right? And as I said, it's no surprise at how far we have come in less than 3 years because we approached our services from that angle of bridging the gap and not providing services, status quo. That is one, very key area that you must understand. The other thing is you want to, develop your skills, right? A great idea alone isn't enough. If you have a fantastic idea, right? Good. But that idea would yield to nothing if you don't develop the right skills to turn it into a thriving business. I say this, uh, I've met with very intelligent people, accountants, right? Doctors, very intelligent, lawyers, right? Doing so good, working for others. But then they fail to go after the business skill to turn, their, what they know and how they know it into a business, right? Because entrepreneur is about you having to work for yourself, build a thriving business, and turn it, to your coming generations. And this you can never do working for someone for your whole life, what we call W2 here. Um, Warren Buffett, said, you, you can never see a W2 employee who is a billionaire. There is no billionaire we have in the world today that are working for someone as a full-time employee. It's not possible. The money you make from working for someone is what you probably just eat and have a good life. You have a good life. You have a place to live. You have good clothes to wear. Your kids are going to good school. But then, when you are gone, there would be no legacy in form of a business that you can hand over. So, it is one thing for you to have an idea. It is one thing for you to be able to work with someone with that idea. It's another thing entirely for you to turn those into a thriving business. So if we use my own example, myself as an example, yes, I went to school. I got my bachelor's degree in accounting. Excuse me. Uh, I might have to turn. Yeah, I got my bachelor's degree in accounting. I got, my certification as an ICANN holder, and then I started working, right? And then after a while, I I just said, you know what, this is it. I've wrapped up enough skills to now have a business, and that is exactly what we are doing right now. So having an idea is not enough. You must be able to, if you have to go to school, if you have to shadow someone, if you have to work, with someone who is already had a business, like have them mentor you, please do. And the other thing is there are so many courses available right now, free. Coursera, Udemy, even YouTube. There are so many skills you can self learn on how to acquire the right skill to have a thriving business. So that you must understand. Now, what are the key skills for entrepreneurial success? What are those things? We said it is not enough for you to just have an idea. What are those things you need to add, to the idea that you have to form a thriving business? One is financial literacy. This is something that, honestly, a lot, a lot of us are really, really, really struggling with. What you cannot measure, right? As long as you cannot measure it, you can't apply, to your business to know if you are succeeding or not. If you have a business, for example, your money is coming in. In fact, some of us sometimes I laugh. We have a business, we say we have a business, and we don't have a bank account, right? And then when our client or our customer is trying to pay us, they pay into our personal account. And before we know it, that money is just gone with the personal. You want to make sure that you are not commingling your business finances with your personal finances. And that is why you really need to learn, you have to master financial literacy. Your cash flow, your budgeting, your business finance. These are they are non-negotiable. You can't. You must have it. If you are going to the bank, for example, to go and ask for loan, they will ask you for your P&L. Where's your profit and loss? Because when banks borrow you, they are borrowing you against your income, the money you claim you are making. So if the income you are making is not times three, times four, times five, times six of your loan repayment, there's no way they are going to give you that money. If what you are making, right, is just same as the money that you are going to be repaying the bank, they'll just send you that letter. There's a love letter telling you that we are sorry, we cannot grant you a credit at the moment, and then they will state the reason there, right? Now, how are you able to know when it is even time for you to go and ask for fund from the bank, from friends, from families? You must be able to measure through your P&L. Resilience and adaptability, we have mentioned this, earlier. If you don't have this, just forget about building business. So many business have come and gone, right? Because most individuals are just not ready. They are just not ready, as far as I'm concerned. Right? They don't have the right mindset. The other one is networking. I just got off. Uh, I just got off another presentation before I joined this, and one of the things I told them there is we have 31 people, 31 on this webinar right here. From the names I know, I don't think I'm following more than five at most on LinkedIn. And if that's the case for you too, look at everyone here now and follow everyone on LinkedIn. At least today alone, I've gained 25 because by the time I looked at the name, out of 31, I only know about four of them, right? And everybody, we all shared our LinkedIn. By the time the meeting was done, I gained 25 new connections today. That's how to do things. One of the best ways you can quickly scale and hurdle over challenges is networking and connecting with those that have been there before. It 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 works like magic. Network, build relationship, and that's where I'm going to really touch on again. Right? You have to build relationship. Don't meet someone today and then the next meeting, the next moment, you are telling them what you want from them. No, build the relationship over time. The richest man in the world today has a problem that if you have the opportunity of meeting them, you can just look if you can help them solve it. It is you investing in the relationship. You must be able to invest in a relationship of that person that you have identified can help you. Relationship building, marketing and branding. This is very, very, very important. Resilient immigrant would never have been able to reach, connect with me if I'm invisible. You are poor and you are not visible. How do you want to be rich? You must make sure that you are visible enough to the world, right? And it starts, in piecemeal. Be visible to small community, they push you forward. The other one push you forward. The other one push you forward. That's how they will push you, push you, push you. And somebody might push you into White House. By saying this, right? Before you start talking about visibility, learning how to position, make sure you have something to offer. Don't just enter the room. I was telling some small group yesterday that if you go and enter a boat, and you are just screaming, 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 and when that boat, have maybe the water, the wave, and then they say, "Ah, where is that man that is screaming that he knows everything?" And then they call you, say, the boat is, we're having problem, and we might all sink. And they now find out that you don't even have anything else there. They will just throw you inside the water. Maybe maybe overweight. If this one leave, at least the weight will reduce a bit. So always make sure you have something to offer, have something here, have something valid to offer before you start screaming that, oh, I know this, I know this, I know this. But when people push you and then you now go and mess them up, they will call them, the person you refer to us messed us up, and you know what the result will be. So please make sure you are visible. Now, time management. This is also very key. Time waits for no one. Time waits for no one at all. So please, whatever time you have, be disciplined. Hmm? This thing of Nigerian or African time, please, we have to we have to work on it. I struggled with it. I must be honest. When I joined the corporate America and they call for meeting, I'm always the one to come in last. You know, always. In fact, it got to a time they will just laugh, they will just be laughing. When I come in, they will just start laughing that this guy again. And by the time I improved, they couldn't believe it. That so maybe when we want to have virtual meeting, once my stop tells me it's 10 minutes to go, I'm logged in. I'll turn off my camera. When the first person calls, I'm like, wow, Ayo is here. And then it will be the first topic they will talk about before we enter into the meeting. The first, can you believe what happened? I actually met Ayo in the meeting. It was yeah. And gradually, it changed. Right? I'm not perfect at it, but I am way better from how it used to be 8, 7, 6, 5 years ago. And we are still that can still you know we can still say that's a cultural thing. In Nigeria, in Africa, different things hold us up that we don't get to meeting, and then before we know it, we have what they call the African time. But here, I mean, I was lucky and fortunate to have worked with people. I've just been so blessed, to be honest. Everywhere I've worked, um, I've had to leave, on a very good note because I've worked with great people over my career, and it might not be the same for everybody, right? This is a country where you can be sacked. They can ask you to please return the laptop to the information technology department. We don't want your service anymore for lack of time management and productivity. They don't waste time here. There's a lady that I know, she joined a company. She lied on her resume, obviously, because by the time I saw her resume too, when she came, do you know this? Do you know that? She said, no. How did you get this? And in less than 2 months, they realized that most of what she has on her resume, she's not able to defend her productivity. They told her to go. And there's something about entrepreneurship, right? And I say this, I'm going to tell this group. When you move to this part of the world, try as much as possible to work in corporate America before you venture into entrepreneurship. You will learn a lot. It has helped me, it has helped me know more about this country, the culture, the people, productivity, time management, a lot, systems, how to even, put systems in place, a lot. America is the first country that I would have my laptop closed and then I can work on two monitors just to be efficient and effective. First, in Nigeria, all of my years, I had my CPU and my one screen. But here, I've worked in a company that I was using five. Five, they mounted it in a way that one was even like vertical, just to make sure that everybody is efficient. So when you find yourself in such a system, when you leave to have your own, you are already living with these ideas. As it is now, to work on my monitor is very difficult for me now. I only do it if I have to. Maybe I'm at the airport, or maybe I went for a meeting that I have to go with just my laptop, and then somebody wants something. These days, when I find myself in such situations, I just tell them, you know what, I'm not available right now. send your email, we'll get back to you, or I push it to the team. So what I've done is there is this very slim monitor, that I travel with now. So when I'm traveling, I don't need my monitors. I go with that very slim monitor. It's very so slim that I can travel with it. So when I get to the hotel, anywhere I'm going, that's how I'm able to walk. Yeah. So please, if you are yet to experience the corporate America and you have not started your own business, I would suggest that you do it. You would learn a lot. Now, overcoming challenges. While we have so many challenges, the key is not to be discouraged, but to be prepared. So let's look at how we can overcome some of this. We talked about, the legal and regulatory hurdles. All you need to do is just to understand, study the law. Before coming to the US, since I knew I was coming, I started studying about, some of the things they do here, the taxes, um, or how they get paid, the jobs that we have, study about funding. If you don't know how to do it, right, reach out to professionals who are helping. And then the other thing is, as an entrepreneur, don't overwhelm yourself. Try as much as possible to outsource some of the things you need to professional, because at the end of the day, right, you realize that you are saving. If you choose to just do it yourself, there is a cost. Even though you might think that you are saving on what you are going to pay, a professional. At the end of the day, when you look at the time that you have wasted trying to get it done versus what you would have paid and get from a professional, you realize that it is always beneficial, more beneficial to sometimes, just outsource. I would only advise my client to research, you know, just to gain education so that some professional is just not dumping something, that you request for someone to file your taxes, for example, and you cannot even interpret your Form 1040. No, you must at least have basic education so that somebody who is a professional, I mean, people will say they are professionals when they are not. So you don't want to be a victim of people like this. Make sure you also have, simple basic education. Now, this other one is very, very key. Bookkeeping and tax exposure. As a business owner, you want to make sure that bookkeeping is one of the lists you must have when starting that business. You must make sure that from the onset, you have the plan of keeping your books, because at the end of the day, it might be the saving grace when you are filing your taxes. And in this country, there are three ways that I believe taxes are filed. Right? You file taxes by avoiding, just avoiding paying certain taxes by taking advantages of the different tax loopholes that we have, right? As stringent, as comprehensive as the tax code is in this country, it has a loophole. It has its loopholes, just like any other robust. There is no system that is perfect, too perfect not to have a loophole. No, including the tax, code. So if you keep your books right, you apply great strategies, you can avoid, taxes, right? You can file your taxes by evading, taxes. One is legal, the other is not. If you avoid taxes by adopting, strategies, that is okay. But when you try to twist the government by not filing your taxes correctly, then that is a problem. and then you can file your taxes as an illiterate. You just don't know you don't even know what you're doing. The first two are intentional, the other one is unintentional. You just start business, you know they are filing taxes, you don't know what is what. You don't know what deductions are. You don't know what a W-2 is. You don't know what a 1099 is. When they give you a W-9 to fill, maybe when you get an independent contractor job, you don't even know what to do. You don't even know how to fill it. And all of these education are available online. The IRS have provided more than enough resources for anybody to give an excuse of not filing their taxes properly, either negligently or intentionally, just dubious. Those are the three ways that I have seen, you know, avoiding, evading, and just being ignorant. You don't want to be the last two. You always want to make sure that you can avoid tax when you can. I'll give you a very, very good example. Keeping your mileage. You have a business that you go to see clients, you travel, and then at the end of the year, you don't know that these expenses that you have incurred, you can actually write them off against your income, against your sales receipts, to determine your net income, which is, what we call net profit, right? You don't know that if you have an organization, for example, like the Resilient Immigrant, you must make sure that you apply for your 501c3 status. You must get that determination letter because if you don't, you'll be taxed as like a private company. And when you get your 501c3, for example, you must make sure that you file at least once, if not the first 3 years. Because if you don't file in 3 years, that determination letter will be revoked. And when it is revoked, to get it back, you might, that even if you get it back, will be difficult, right? So these are things you have to learn. Cultural barrier, market knowledge. You must conduct market research, whichever way you want to conduct it. We go to high schools, for example. We go to even middle schools, right? We are taking our services to elementary schools, knowing that if we go to these schools and then we tell the kids, these kids will go and tell their parents that mom, somebody came to our school today and said, if by the time I go to college in 15, 16, 17 years, I don't have to get a student loan, right? And then they'll be like, did you get anything from this person that came to your school? Oh, yes, we did. And then they hand them a flyer, and then the parent will start reaching out. Market research, right? You must go after your market. There's no reason why I should be pursuing other people's existing, clients. I don't. I need to create my own by going, uh, going after them before they even enter the market in the first place, right? Uh, so the other thing is, lack of support, which I think organizations, such as Resilient Immigrant is really trying to, help, just nip in the bud. We have too many organizations supporting our immigrants. Help is enough. We have so much help, right? You cannot look around and say there's no help, and then the next thing is, oh, maybe I should go to heaven and come back. You will not come back. The help is here. Now, the biggest lesson here is that every problem has a solution. Your job is to find and use it to your advantage. This time last year, even as of October, I don't know who or what resilient immigrant is and what they do. But look at me today presenting. You have to find it. You have to, you just position yourself. You have to, right? Right after resilient immigrant, shared my stuff and followed. We have other organizations doing almost the same in other states that have reached out. You have to find solutions, provide it, use it to your advantage, make yourself visible, make yourself big, bigger than you are. Because hey, the bigger you can make yourself look, believe me, that's your potential right there. And when you reach that potential, don't stop, spread again, right? Leveraging community and resources. This is one of it right here. You have to look for the right network. Mentorship is not overrated. What I just said there right is that look for the right mentors. Not everybody, can be your mentor. It's like somebody who is having maybe a skin problem now that you need a dermatologist. You need a dermatologist for your skin, and you are going to meet a pediatrician that attends to children. We all have strengths and weaknesses when it comes to mentorship, right? I can't imagine a student who wants to be an aeronautic, for example, now asking for me to come and mentor him or her. Where do I go? How do I do it? Same thing goes for mentorship. Take business courses. And all of these courses are just so superly free available. Udemy, Coursera, they are there. There are so many free courses out there that you can take. Sit down 20, 30 minutes, and you'll be shocked what you will learn, right? It's a lot. Join entrepreneurial communities. If there are communities, the world is becoming smaller and smaller and smaller every day with social media. On social media, I say this most of the time too. Social media is not the problem. The problem in most cases is what you are looking for. What are you looking for on social media? It would be the determinant if there's a problem, hmm, that you are looking for, or success, right? Uh, Social media is so good right now that you can curate your algorithms. In the last, I would say 3 weeks, it started with me just seeing this puppy, cute, and then I watched the video, and then I watched some more, and then I watched some, watched some more, and then before I knew it, the next day, Instagram was suggesting puppy videos. Dogs. Probably they think I want to buy. Now, to bust the bubble, just 2 days ago, I got all this sponsored ad from um, what do they call them again? Where those that give up dogs for adoption. I don't know. I'm not. They are not vets. They have dogs, right? That probably maybe people abandoned, and then they take care of these dogs, and people come for these dogs for adoption. So I got two of those ads advertising that are you interested in, and then they were showing their dogs. That is how good Instagram is now. By the time you watch one video, watch another one that has to do with what you want to do, more videos. They will go and be calling themselves. Those videos will go and be calling themselves. That is, you have curated your algorithms. I know I was telling two young individuals I met at the immigrant, resilient immigrant. Your generation, you guys are just, you are blessed. You are blessed because the resources are there. Now, on the other hand, if there's something you think you want to do and it might be looking too cumbersome, too complicated, see if you can have partnership opportunities. Right? If you want to do something, you have the idea, and then you find someone that has the money, go and meet them. Your money can work more for you. Look at this idea, right? Uh, how can we help you? FinSA Pro. As I said earlier, we are a financial services company, and we help individuals and businesses with financial inclusion, and we provide we help with this through four major services: accounting, tax, insurance, and loans. Now, for entrepreneurs that are here, if you want to start a business, you are here to start, we can help you with the setup and the legal compliances. And as I said earlier, bookkeeping should be included in the first steps you want to take. Make sure that as you are starting that business, you are getting your articles of organization, you are getting your EIN, you are getting your BOI report, you are getting your operating agreement. Go straight to the bank and open a bank account. The moment you get a bank account, open your QuickBooks or whichever quick accounting system you want to use and sync your bank statement, that business bank statement, with it automatically so that the moment you are spending from that account is going into your bank, is going into your bookkeeping. All you need to do is just go inside of your bookkeeping and go and code. Say, for example, you swipe a card, you bought telephone, right? That transaction would sync into QuickBooks, but it would not code itself to telephone expenses until you go in there and code it. But the beautiful part is you can now instruct, just do an automation that anytime you see a transaction from this company, maybe Verizon, post it to the same account. So automation too is allowed, and automation would allow you spend less time on what record you are trying to keep. Financial and credit education. You need to be financially educated. You must. You must know that in this country, it is not good to spend more than 30% of the credit card you have at any point in time. Because what you are saying to any financial institution is that I am dependent too much on other people's money. Because when you get a credit card, you have access to my own fund, for example. And if I see that you are dependent on 30% more of my money, I'll be willing to loan you more. Because my question will be, where will you get the money to pay me back? Financial education, credit education, it can never be underestimated. We help with that. We help with business planning and strategy. We also help with your tax planning. Many of us we don't plan for our taxes. January to December, we don't do anything. By February, middle of February, we are now running after our tax preparer. What do I need to do? That has to stop. We also help with marketing and branding guidance, right? We know that visibility is very key, and we can help you set up, your handles, and just run you through for a while before we hand it over to you. And also, we provide access, to a supportive community. As FinSA Pro is now, we are member of different chamber of commerce. We are member and friends and allies to different organizations such as the Immigrant, the Resilient Immigrant. So if you come in contact with FinSA Pro and then you have anything to do you want something, and we feel that, oh, you can get this at the immigrant, the resilient immigrant. We send you there right away. We meet up with you and we see that, oh, you have something to do with, you have something, you need something, and maybe Legacy Global Business Network is where you should go. We send you right there right away, right? We have access because we have connected to many of these. We are also ambassador at the moment to the Nigerian Center. So we belong to a lot of supportive, community. Now, final thoughts. Final thoughts. After everything that we have said, the first thing is you must believe in yourself. Please, please. No matter what it is, don't listen, to naysayers. So many ideas have died and been buried because you listened. Someone who said you cannot do it. You listened because you did not believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. Whatever vision you have been given, especially when it keeps coming back, coming back, coming back, is meant for you. Don't sell it. Don't sell it by just folding your arms. Ideas are like spirits. When they come to you, when they come to you, they come to you because they know that you are the right person to undertake and execute it. But when you fail to grab, they will leave. They will leave and go to the next person. That same, that same thought, that same, thing, you keep crying, crying, crying to God, crying to your maker, crying to Mother Nature that, oh, I can do this. Somebody else too is crying and asking for the same opportunity. So when it comes to you and you let it go because you don't believe that you can do it, it will go to the next person in line. And in most cases, this person that is next in line does not have what you have. And at the end of the day, they will employ you. Hmm? You will not be employed by them to come and do what you can actually do. Stay open to learning. Be humble, please. Be humble. Uh, this is a country where you you've had decades, 10, 20 years of experience, and then you come and then you have to work with someone that you just graduated high school, university, college, maybe 2, 3 years ago, and you have to work. You have to report to them. And as you know, there's like we do in Nigeria, sir, ma, you call Mr. Here they will call you your name. Mhm. Open mind. We have that mind, open-mindedness to learn. You'll be shocked. I have a 11-year-old and a 9-year-old. I My 9-year-old showed me for the first time that if you type in my name on browser, right, my name will just pop up from. When he showed me that thing 2 years ago, I was shocked. Right, you just be so dazzled to see how much the younger generation can teach you. Stay open to learning. It is the only source to continuous growth. You have to continue to learn, to evolve. You have to now surround yourself with the right people. Please. You see that this final thought, I'm begging you. Like I'm begging. You have to surround yourself with the right people. When I was coming from Nigeria, most of those I told I was coming were like the only jobs that are available is all these CNA jobs. I did it, but when I landed in GFK, I I had my two bags. I was meant to just get on either the Greyhound because GFK, of course, New York. The my cousin I was going to stay with, was here in Maryland. So I was meant to get on the Greyhound to come to New York, to come to Maryland. But this is what I did before I, went to the Greyhound station where I actually slept because I missed the last Greyhound. So I slept at the station with my two bags. For my first night in America, I slept in a train station with my two bags. That was when I realized that even beggars at the train station, they have their spot at night. On several occasions, I had beggars come to tell me, that is my spot, get out. And I have to, just continue moving my car. But where am I going? When I got off, I rolled my bags and walked the city of New York for several hours. I couldn't eat because I had just my $200. I don't know how much train station was going to cost, right? I walked the city of New York hungry with my two bags. But then I got a message that helps me till today. And the message is that a country cannot be this blessed. Remember the first one I said, a country cannot be too big. America is too big for anybody to fail. But my first lesson in this country is a country cannot be this blessed. If you've never been to New York before, please do and walk the city and see how blessed this country is. That a country cannot be this blessed and not have wealth for me. It's not possible. That is the mentality you want to have. And most importantly, don't let the people around you bury that message and that mentality. Because before you know it, peer peer influence, they will take you to Texas when your destination is actually Virginia, are the two opposites. Okay? Surround yourself with good people. On that note, I end this presentation, and I want to thank the resilient immigrant for this opportunity. I hope I'm able to come back here again, uh, to talk on something else. As I mentioned, we provide accounting, tax, loan, and insurance services. Today is just talking about how you can, grow as an entrepreneur. If you have started a business and you need help with your bookkeeping and accounting, I hope someday I can come back here and shed some light on that. How should you file your taxes? Remember the three ways: file to avoid, file to evade, file ignorantly. You always want to file to avoid. I hope someday I'm able to come here and shed light on that, on the different tax planning and strategies that we have. Insurance is a must. Insurance is a must. If you have a family, it is one of the most unselfish things you can do for your family. And if you don't, it's still one of the very unselfish things you can do for yourself. Everything about this country is um, insurance has a lot to do with it, right? If you can buy your phone, this is a phone, right? And then you buy a pouch. just to keep it safe. Why not your life? All right? Why not your properties? So please, you want to make sure you get your life and your properties insured. I've seen situations in this country. This is something that I know. A lady who took out a life insurance, and in less than 3 weeks, she was diagnosed of cancer that she did not have when she got her insurance. And from that, she was able to um, access huge, when I say huge, I mean huge amount of money from her insurance policy. Aside from that, insurance is even a means of building your wealth in this country. There is no billionaire in this country as of today that do not have different insurance policies to help, with their wealth. And if you need help with mortgage loans, you need to get a loan, or you have that business you want to start, you need help with loans or how you can even go about it, you can give us a call. Thank you so much, and we always help, here to help. Our phone number is 240-714-8958. Again, I repeat, 240-714-8958. Resilient Immigrant, thank you so much. I'll see you guys again.